And welcome to another episode of Billy Watson TV. It gives me great pleasure to introduce a returning guest who's done some fantastic work in getting the truth about flat Earth and much more out there with his music, books, and videos. We are gonna talk about how hard it has become to do that these days due to algorithms controlling who sees what content and how AI is taking jobs and income away from genuine artists. Welcome to the show, Alex Michael, otherwise known as Conspiracy Music Guru.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Billy Watson TV. It gives me great pleasure to have an old buddy on the show. We've had him on 4 times before, it's his 5th appearance, and he does some great work, as you're probably aware, for those that can see him these days, because he's getting shadow banned quite a lot, like myself. But anyway, welcome to the show, Alex Michael, otherwise known as Conspiracy Music Guru.
Cheers, Billy. How's it going? I love the intro music, mate. That was outstanding.
Did you like that?
Yeah, mate. Really good, mate. Really good. Yeah.
That's the devil incarnate that we're going to talk about.
It is indeed. Yeah. I mean, I said on a recent Facebook post that, the fact that I spent an entire lifetime, perfecting my craft and owning it and only to be replaced by a few text prompts is a bit of a kick in the balls. I mean, there's definitely an evil aspect to this AI. It's ruining the creative arts. I mean, why get someone like me who spent a lifetime perfecting, musicianship or whatever, to do a jingle for your radio show or what? You don't need me anymore. You can just type something into AI, get it for free. So it's and artists as well, the painters and that, they're going to be out of a job. Voiceover artists as well. It's ruining the creative arts. It really is. And it's, I don't know, man. I never thought I'd be on a podcast talking about AI taking over the music industry, but that seems to be what is happening, man.
It's crazy. I mean, my girlfriend right now, she's creating, I've got different poems, so she's creating like a comic book strip using AI. But this AI is absolutely fucking mental because she's having to discuss things with it and chat to it, and it's not doing some images right, and she's directing it. Then it starts saying to her, "Oh, you need to take a time out right now. You're getting too worked up." If she says, "I'm going to cancel the subscription," and then it fucking doesn't do anything for an hour, then it says, "Oh, you're giving me all the right prompts, and what you're doing is perfect. It's my fault. I'll get it right this time." And then it doesn't get it right. So it's like, are you going to fucking do? It's like somebody's programming it to be a cunt.
Totally. I mean, it's totally controlled, isn't it? I mean, the amount I've played with it a little bit, and I feel dirty when I play with it. And I played with it for lyrical inspiration. When you're having a bit of a sort of a writer's block, and I started writing a song based on and I had to change all the lyrics because I could never really call it my own. And then some of the stuff you type into it spits out this government narrative when you're questioning certain narrative. It's obviously like pre-programmed with NPC responses, but there is apparently an uncensored AI which a friend of mine is using, and I need to find out exactly what the link is, but I guess it's only good. It only puts out what we put into it. So more conscious people feeding it conscious material, like the cosmology, the great cosmological lie, and that. And I've seen people talking to AI, and it's giving you truth about our cosmology and virology and biology and everything. So it can give you truth, but I guess if you just go onto Twitter and use Grok and you type in, things about virology. I've got to be careful because we're on YouTube.
That's all right, don't worry about it.
Yeah, so there is an aspect of getting truth out of it, but you just have to sort of, I don't know, program it. But then it feels dirty to me. It just feels really quite dystopian when you really open your eyes to it.
But see how you there had to kind of have to be careful. See that shit? I fucking hate that.
Yeah, and it's awful. I fucking hate it. I mean, I could never envisage living in a world where we have to use code words. We have to say arm spear and things like that. It just goes to show what kind of a world we. And initially, when I was making my music, I was kind of sort of under the radar a little bit because it was all music and comedy and satirical. But now the algorithms are getting so clever that they can understand sarcasm and things like that. And even my sort of sort of, it was kind of a loose song about an arm spear injury that was inspired by a relative of mine, and I kind of made it. It wasn't like full on hardcore truth. It was kind of a little bit, wispy and a little bit, not exactly to the point. And even the algorithms on Patreon picked it up that it was, it was a vague song about a jab injury, vague, quite vague.
Yeah, you were right.
Yeah, you were right. Yeah, exactly. It's it's got lines like I could feel my heart is breaking and my body won't stop shaking. Kind of sounds like a love song, but obviously I'm talking about what happens if you put this poison into you. And I thought it was quite vague. I'll get away with it. Tried to upload it to Patreon. Knocked it off. Tried it again, knocked it off. Tried it again, knocked it off. And I ended up having to put a link to YouTube to it. The YouTube algorithms didn't pick that up, but the Patreon algorithms did. So what that means for the future for me and Patreon, I don't know.
Well, I did mention to you before that a theory could get kicked off Patreon, but I didn't know it was that controlling. So,
no, neither did I until I uploaded that song. So I've got to be careful. I don't know. I don't want to be backed into a corner though, and be careful with my lyrics. I want to be able to say what the fuck I want. Right? I should be able to. I shouldn't be treading on eggshells. Like, is this word or is this phrase going to flag an algorithm somewhere? That's so retarded me, and I just, it feels like that fucking mask over my face. This digital gag. And I can't stand it. So, I mean, maybe Patreon's not the future. Like we said before we came on, the only way is if you serve your own website, you host your own website. You don't use third parties like Wix and GoDaddy, because, how long before GoDaddy take my website down? Google have already demoted me. Can't find my website if you type in conspiracy music guru. It's a fucking joke at this point. So, I guess if I'm, want to build up a following, if I want to continue doing what I'm doing, I've got to host my own website. I've got to have private subscriptions and all that, but that comes with a cost.
Yeah, but we'll get back to that. But what pisses me off is like all this stuff of mind control. It's now in the general public because I'm literally ostracised from everywhere in the real world trying to do comedy because I done a joke about, I said the N word, and then I done a joke where I never said the N word, but I actually literally said the N word.
Nicola.
Yeah, exactly. That's the joke, and I got fucking other comedians hoiked me off the stage, and now like my name is Mud, and it's just like the audience can't handle it because they're all kind of programmed. If you go to one of these special gigs, the uncensored gigs, then everyone's for it because they've still got open mind or whatever. But that shouldn't be where comedy takes place now. It's just the whole thing's just a mind. The population are getting mind controlled through all this censorship.
There's no audience for you anymore. Again, if you want to do that kind of thing. But I mean, stand up online doesn't really work, does it?
No.
You've got to have that live audience, I suppose. Even if you did it with a Zoom private audience, you need to have those bodies in the room. You need to hear that, immediate laughter or those reactions. You need to see people's expressions. You can't do that online. But you can't go out in the world and do comedy anymore. You can't do it.
Did you hear about Andrew Lawrence? What happened to him? So anyway, he got kind of banned because he made a joke about the 3 black players that missed the penalties for England when they were all doing the take the knee during the Euro Championships and they got to the final. So that was him starting to get ostracised. But so he turns up at these uncensored gigs and he's quite good. He's pretty full on. But he done a joke after the Liverpool event, literally the next day, and he just done a wee thing on Twitter, just saying basically, to be fair, if I was in Liverpool, I would drive through crowds of people just to get out of town as well. And,
see, that's fun. See, you've got to have a sense of humour, right? Because there's nothing you can do to change that event. There's nothing you can do. You have to make light of it. And people are such fucking pussies that
it's worse than that because actual comedy clubs are coming out and fucking, even though he's not booked with them for ages, they're literally saying Andrew Lawrence is the fucking devil. And because basically hundreds of people after it, all these Liverpoolians without a sense of humour, and they say they're the funniest city ever because he done quite a good follow-up video on YouTube where he doubled down on it. That was really worth watching. But basically, yeah, they're all, and then these comedy clubs are literally saying, if you gig with Andrew Lawrence, you don't, it's not what type of comedy we stand for and all this kind of stuff. It's like, fuck off, you fucking cunts.
Absolutely. Do you remember in the 70s where you had people like Bernard Manning and Jim Davidson and Where you could say what you want, and you could take the piss out of someone from Pakistan, and you could say the word Paki. All it is a fucking abbreviation of the word
Exactly.
Pakistan, right? You know, you could say tranny, which is just an abbreviation of transgender. It's like imagine people being offended by the word granny. Well, it's just an abbreviation of the word grandmother. Why is tranny? What? It's so fucking retarded. So back in the 70s, where you could say what you want, you could take the piss out of a black man could take the piss out of you.
Exactly.
You could take the piss out of a Chinaman, and the Chinaman could take round eye. Or you could go, because we are not pussies and we got thick skin. And it's the world's gone fucking mad where you have to hesitate before you say a joke. I fucking hate that.
This is what's wrong. Yeah, people don't have a sense of humour. We should be laughing about all this shit. So they're just using this divide and conquer. And, you know, that was the point. I'd done this joke about Hamza, and I said, you know, he's going to change Scotland's national anthem to the Sly and the Family Stone song, Don't Call Me Nigger Whitey. Because he'd done this bit in Parliament, you know, top of police white, this guy's white, this guy's white. Well, you're living in Scotland, mate. But, you know, that will soon change because, like, I don't know if you've noticed that they're trying to bring in ID cards, and they're very subtle, and all the advertising everywhere has got mixed families, and the ID card has got a black guy and this British citizen, you know, the England players, you know, black guys, and France national teams, like 12 black guys in the team, you know what I mean? And there's only 11 players, so it's just like their national identity is getting wiped out. So we're not allowed to talk about it, and humour is a good way for people to talk about these things. And
you can't do that. There's
connect.
censor in that. You can't even have a joke about it now. You can't even laugh at the state of the world, which is actually very, very therapeutic to people like me.
Yeah.
We know we're in a fucked up place. We can't do anything about it, but I can make songs and we can stand up and make a joke about it. You know, that's medicine to me. But when your medicine's being taken away like that freedom of speech, then I don't know what the answer is. I really don't. Particularly for, you know, woke comedy is just fucking vile, isn't it?
It's disgusting. It's like all these people now. Used to be the show on Saturday night with Michael McIntyre, whatever, the big show with all the comedians. You used to have to have like done 10 years and up and down the country plying your trade before you got on that. These days they want all those white kind of middle-aged guys away, and you've got these demographics on who are pretty fucking shit, you know, and they get edited, and I'm sure laughter tracks get added, and it's just like they've not earned their place there. But because they fit they tick the boxes, the same as the sports presenters, you get all these people on now, again, they're shite. You want to hear ex-football players or whatever talking about it, it's people that know the game, but they've got Christ knows and their granny fucking doing it just to fill this agenda going forward, you know?
Yeah. The only way you're going to get on stage doing comedy is if you're a black disabled lesbian.
That's basically it, and you go. I mean, you're talking about controlling your own stuff. Like I do spend a lot of money, £15 a month for hosting, and then I've got various other things, even doing all this live stream. And I used to go on Facebook, and the algorithms there would promote you when you were doing live things, but they've just turned all the dials down to make people like me and you stop getting an audience to even try and get them back to your own platform. So, you know, I put out notices on Twitter, I'm interviewing you, Telegram, Instagram, Facebook, on YouTube as well, but we've got 6 people watching. You know, we think for the amount of work and stuff you've done, you know, there should be more. Like in the past, 2 years ago when they wanted everyone in their houses, we'd have 100, 150 people. But now that's all turned down, so they're making it more and more difficult, not just fighting AI, it's actually finding humans to come and watch your content. So to try and do it on your own site is an uphill battle unless you've got a ready-made audience, and even then I'm sure it's still difficult.
Yeah, as I said before we came on, I'm at this fork at the road now where everything I'm doing now is not reaching. I mean, I've amassed, I think, over 150,000 followers across platforms, and when I put something out now, I'm virtually invisible. When I started I had 2,000 followers on Twitter a couple of years ago, and it was just a dead account. I thought, I'll revive that account, and I started uploading videos. First video I uploaded 20,000 views, even with just 2,000 followers. I thought, maybe X is uncensored. Cool. Put another one on, 20,000 views. I thought, hey, here we go. We finally found it. Put the third one on, fourth one on, that 2050, and then every video. And now I've got 4,000. I've got twice the amount of followers on Twitter now. And I upload a video. I'm lucky if I get 2,000 views on it. Like, what the fuck? And people are being magically unsubscribed from my YouTube channel, but no one's getting notifications. No one's getting. It's like this has to be a crime. I mean, because if it's causing me loss, harm, and injury, which is the definition of a crime, it's causing me loss, financial, therefore causing me harm. How is that not a crime?
Yeah.
But then people will argue, oh, well, YouTube is a private company; they can have who they like in their house. But then they're acting as a public service. So I don't really understand it from a legal standpoint. But what they're doing is certainly illegal. It's unlawful, without a doubt. I mean, it's just I don't know what to do anymore because I've poured my heart and soul into this for 8 years, and I've seen the impact that it has, and I want to continue doing it because I know there's power in this kind of music, the healing music and the lyrical stuff and the comedy stuff, all the things I've done. I've seen the messages that people send me, and they're quite profound, some of them, and so I really want to continue doing it. But how can I? How can I go to work and not get paid? You wouldn't expect that from any other walk of life.
Well, there was people on my Facebook page the other day saying all these truthers that ask for donations, it just puts me right off them and stuff like that. I mean, there's people who just regurgitate stuff and whatever.
I saw that, but I don't know who that was. That was a woman, and I unfriended her because of that. I thought, what an ignorant thing to say. It's so retarded. That, yes, the truth is free if you're willing to go out there and find it. But the people that go and find it and collate all of that truth and put it into a video edit and spend time doing podcasts or video edit, that's a lot of time and a lot of work. I put it into music. Yeah, the truth's free. My music isn't free. So I had to unfriend that because it really, really offended me when people say things like that, when people expect me to go to work and not. I've got bills. We've all got fucking bills. And when people say profound things to me like, your music is the only thing that keeps me going, your music changed my life. And then I say, hey, have you signed up for the Patreon? Crickets.
Hi. There's somebody saying, quit complaining, it's breaking my heart. Oh, well, I hope that's meaning they're on your side. But we're not complaining, we're just kind of getting your perspective out there.
We're highlighting how fucking difficult it is. I mean, the person who says quit complaining, do they have a job? Do they get paid? If you go to work and your boss wasn't paying you, you'd start complaining. I mean, so I don't know what to do. I mean, I'm not worried about the future. I'm worried about the future of Conspiracy Music Guru because I don't think I can continue doing that unless I get the support. Because I've got lots of strings to my bows. I can go and do a bunch of different things. But I want to keep Conspiracy Music Guru alive. But if I'm going to do these gigs and no one's paying for them, no one's even putting a few bucks in the hat at the end of the night. No one's tipping the piano man. You know, even though this music is profound and changing people's lives, and that is incredibly frustrating. So I don't know where to go with it currently, which is why I did a rant on Facebook yesterday.
I didn't see it as a rant. I just thought it was a valid viewpoint, you know, of where you're at. And again, how many people are getting to see that? That's the thing as well. You know, it's just like that's what I'm like. Right now, I'm putting stuff out there. I'm doing work, but shall I bother posting it anywhere? Is it going to reach anybody? I'm just pissing against the wind.
Yeah.
And how the hell can you reach people these days? I didn't mention to you Substack. Some people are having Again, it's an art to that as well.
Maybe there's a positive to this. I mean, maybe because of the invent of AI and AI music and that, maybe it'll push live music sort of underground and sort of privately. So I'm thinking about doing sort of live gigs online if I can sort the audio out, and doing live gigs online to a small paying audience and do it that way. Yes, I'm not going to reach as much people, and the name of the game was to reach as many people as possible, but that doesn't pay the bill. So maybe us would just go sort of underground and go to the people that want to pay, just like, I don't know, a few bucks for a 2-hour gig, and they get a free album, and we do a bit of Q&A. And I do more of a Ronnie Scott size audience rather than, reaching thousands or 10,000 people and not getting paid. I'd rather play to, a couple of hundred people and everyone pay a couple of quid. Then at least I can get paid. And, people that would actually appreciate the performance,
There is a website, I don't know if I mentioned to you before, it's called Lounges TV. And that is specifically set up for performers. Actually, Simon Cowell's the main face behind it. But obviously, but it's a very much shame we've seen his face these days. Oh,
Jesus.
But
there's some shady shit about him, by the way. Some shady shit about him. But anyway, I won't digress. Sorry, carry on.
Yeah, just it might be worth checking that out, because the thing is, though, I mean, I've had the guys contacting me saying, in theory, because I'm uploading stuff there, I should be earning money from it, but they take a 20% cut, and it's up to you to go and find the audience. They don't really help, promote what's on there.
Yeah.
But basically, yeah, supposedly makes it easy for to set up gigs, live events, and get tickets and sell it and stuff. So I think
Yeah.
that could be quite a good place for you to
Yeah.
check out.
Yeah. What do you say? Lounges, it's called.
Lounges.tv.
Right.
Lounges TV.
I've been messing around with Zoom a little bit, and they do a similar thing where you can sell a link. But if you was, you have to go like, oh, I predict I'm going to get 100 people to this event, and if you want 100 people to the event, they charge you €200. So I've got to make sure I cover my initial. Because with Zoom, they do all sorts of audio things where I can get the sound really good, and I want the sound to be good for the audience. So, but that's going to just to stream to 100 people. Zoom will charge me, I think it's €230, and you have to have a subscription of 15 a month or something. You have to be on a certain plan. So I don't know what Lounges is like and what their audio is like. So I'm going to have to play around with it a little bit. But it's either that or going out into the wild and singing for my supper and crooning to old like Elvis Presley songs and shit like that, which might be fun. But I think I'm too old for that shit.
Plus, where you live is not exactly the place to do that kind of thing, is it?
Well, I mean, not to do conscious music, no, but just to go out in the bars and croon
Right.
a fucking Frank Sinatra song, which I'm more than capable of doing. Yeah,
Right.
there might be a bit of call for that, while people are eating their curry, and
Right.
being completely ignored in the corner,
Right.
to doing all that. But, so I'm not that worried. I just want to do the conspiracy stuff because I know that can change people's minds and perspectives and get people critically thinking. And with the solfeggio stuff as well, profound things are happening with that. So I'd love to continue doing that. So we'll have to see what happens, mate.
Well, I did see you post a wee while ago on YouTube saying that you weren't going to post anymore there, and then I went back and checked your site. Again, I'm not getting notifications for your things coming up, so
Right.
I'm like, oh, he's posted 4 or 5 more videos. So I played them, and first of all, they're all excellent, and
Thanks.
the lyrical content, again, it's not everyday lyrics. They're to a high level as well. And then the music, the couple you done with Franz, especially, were beautiful. So obviously you've kind of been lured back into putting stuff out on YouTube.
Yeah, 'cause my mindset there was right because I put out a video saying I'm leaving YouTube. I'm done with YouTube. They've banned 2 of my videos. I'm on the verge of losing my channel. I'm going to be over at Patreon, and in the hopes that people would follow me over there. But getting people to leave YouTube is like pulling teeth. It's not impossible. So I thought, okay, right. I can't get people to follow me on to Patreon and support me there. What I'll do is I'll carry on uploading to Patreon, but when I upload a video, I'll put a little teaser at the end of my video that promotes my Patreon that says you get band videos and jam sessions and behind the scenes stuff and this, that, and the other. In the hopes that people would see that and go, I like Conspiracy Music Guru. There's more of him on Patreon. He does stuff just over there. And, when I did that on those 3 videos, and those 3 videos collectively have probably got 30, 40,000 views across platforms. You know how many people sign up to my Patreon? 2. Fucking 2. I was like, right, I can't do that. So that's another thing. Like, okay, so I can't even advertise on YouTube and get people to. It's just like, so I don't know. I fucking don't know, mate. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, in the past, you got well known on YouTube for doing the big productions for Flat Earth Man and stuff like that, which were really sensational and eye-grabbing. But it takes so much time to do that. So what do people want? You need to spend 3 months to do a video, and then get that for free. How are you living in that time period? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's insane. And when you consider, because people just see the 5-minute song and they go, oh, that's good, that's fucking brilliant. I really like it. And they smile and they laugh and then they go on with their day. They don't realise that took me 3 months to make or 2 months to make, and to put that kind of 2 months work and then put it out there. And I get no monetization off of YouTube. I get fucking $100 a month on YouTube, mate. $100 a month. Like that's with 80,000 followers on YouTube, right? And I've got a friend who's got 140,000, so almost twice the amount. So you would expect him to earn almost twice the amount. Oh no! All he does is play keyboard and show people how to play popular songs. Never shows his face. He earns 3 to 4 grand on YouTube a month. So what the fuck is going on there? So
another thing that's quite basically, again, my partner, she got into TikTok because people are earning money on TikTok, and they pay you once you get above 10,000 followers. But so she got past 10,000 and she's got like 100,000 followers for this kind of positive message using AI to create these to help people with depression and kind of give them something to get through their day.
Nice.
And then TikTok started paying her, but then they started saying, "Oh, this is borrowed content from somewhere or some excuse," and then they just demonetize her. Security issues and all this kind of stuff. It's like they're teasing you with like a carrot here and make this money, and then you do everything. You got all the followers, got all the views, and then you just say, "We can't pay you because there's a security issue." Boof. Try again next month. Try again next month. So then she's just ended up giving up. So that's, you know what I mean? They're fucking with us.
Oh, so I haven't even told you about my Teespring account. I was selling merch, like under every video on my YouTube. There'd be a little merch bar with some of my T-shirts. And normally, according to Teespring's terms and conditions, when you make a withdrawal from them, they have to pay within a month, right? That's what you sign up for in terms of. Now, I made a withdrawal in, I think it was January this year or December last year of $600. They still haven't paid me 6 months later.
Oh my God.
Right, so now it's actually up to almost $800 now. So I withdraw, and I've emailed them again and again, and I've threatened them with legal action and law. It's only $800. I could really use that now. So even now my conspiratorial mind is kicking in again. Are they? And I've looked online to see if they're not paying other creators. And I can only find sort of limited information about them not paying other creators, but that's only from a few years ago. It's almost like they're targeting me, like well. And every time I send an email, I get this AI-generated response like, "Rest assured, we're looking into your case. We're looking into it every day. If we hear anything, we'll let you know. We understand how frustrating it is." But I'm like, fuck you. No, you fucking don't. So I almost think that Teespring are fucking... Anyway, I don't use Teespring anymore. So it's almost like they're fucking with me as well. So it's like, how can you not be paranoid when you're getting it from all angles?
But that's even worse because people are actually paying money, so they're holding that money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not like they're just saying, "We'll give you this because you got lots of views." They've actually got the money and they're just keeping a hold of it.
Yep. It's criminal.
That's ridiculous. Like, it's like these platforms, you can't get in touch with the actual guy behind it. Like, I was on Facebook and I got hacked. I had 7,500 followers on the page. Eventually, after about 8 months, I actually got through to somebody in some sales department because I got a new page together. I said I was going to advertise in. Oh, this person I can actually talk to one-on-one on Facebook. And then he says, "Oh, we'll look into it for you. It's not really my department." And then they just ignored me again. So they're quite happy having this hacker have my page rather than give it back to me, who's obvious it's my fucking page. So then I've got 100 followers now or whatever. So I'm never going to get back to 7,500. So they literally know.
It's like we've got this label on our back, isn't it? It's like we're targeted.
Oh, it's no doubt about
that. Without that, it's hard not to be paranoid. I mean, your IP address is probably flagged in some kind of way, shape, or form. There's probably AI algorithms that are like pointing at you, going, "Don't give this motherfucker anything. He's got a big mouth." That's what's happening.
Well, I think there's actually a personal agent or somebody watching. When you get to a certain level of notoriety or awareness that people are listening to you or following you. Because I was doing the shit show every night during the lockdown or whatever, 150, 200 viewers sometimes more, whatever. Then all of a sudden it just goes like that. So when I was doing it towards the end, there was like 4 viewers, 5 viewers. And you're like, I'm spending all this time collecting all this stuff to sit here for an hour and talk to myself sometimes because they just literally turn the dials down. And yeah, I definitely think you get targeted.
Yeah, I don't know what the answer is, mate. But I do feel like... especially when my website just disappeared from Google. Like for the longest time, for a couple of years, you would type in Conspiracy Music Guru into Google. First website that came up, Conspiracy Music Guru, blah, blah, blah. And then for some reason, it falls to the second page, third page. And who goes to the second page, third page? Nobody. So my sales on my website just went, it's like, what? And I said to my wife, I said, it's been blacklisted. And she was looking into it, like, what's it take to be blacklisted? And I think that's probably a bit of a harsh term, blacklisted, but it's definitely been censored. We know Google, YouTube censor this information. All my music's about, virology, cosmology, all of that, all the stuff that they hate you talking about. Yeah. So it's no stretch of the imagination to suggest that I may have been demoted in the algorithms. So that's a kick in the balls. So I feel like we're pissing and moaning too much, mate.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Just if you take the bigger picture, what's actually going on? This where we're going is like this dark side or whatever's the AI is not wanting free thinking. They want people in a digital ID. They want them locked down. They don't want conscious minds. They want them to choose to get this microchip in them or whatever. So if we're talking against that, that's against the whole agenda of what's actually going on. So they've got no other option. And I wouldn't mind if it was they're doing what they're doing, but it's a fair game. You know what I mean? Then it's a level playing field, and people see what happens. But they're just 100% criminal. 100% it seems to be evil, and any light in this place is going to raise people, because maybe this reality that we live in, the third eye has been shut down or whatever. And if everyone starts to wake up, maybe they go to another reality, and this demons, whatever, are feeding off our energy, and this one would struggle for food. You know what I mean? From everyone's negative vibes.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we're there yet. Though we're not quite there yet, are we? We're at the very start of that kind of awakening, I think. But these corporations are not being held to account. No, there's no justice. There's no accountability for the crimes they're committing on every fucking level, not just censorship. So I don't have much hope at the moment, but I do see an awakening, and I hope I see it in my lifetime, and I hope the tables get turned. But I'm a bit of a pessimist when it comes to that, because I never see any improvement. I just see the system getting worse and worse. And now I see this AI coming in and kicking creative people like me in the bollocks. It's just like, I just want to fucking go to recluse, man. It's so deflating. It's so soul destroying. And that's what they want. There's still some fight in me, because I'm a fucking freedom fighter. There's still some fight in me. But at the moment, it's like, these cunts are winning. They've got that tyrannical boot on my head. Yep. So, I don't know, man.
Yeah, like I'm trying to do a full-time job and then come home and do this stuff. And, there we go. He's been censored. I don't think he pushed a button there, but they don't like what he's got to say, obviously. These cunts are winning and say, we'll show you who's winning. Get him to fuck. So, hopefully he'll come back on. Noel is in the house. Hi, Noel. Noel is somebody who supports me. Thanks for your donation recently, Noel. I do have a donate button on my website, and I have made all my interviews public recently. So people can watch them because before I was asking for people for an email address to watch them for free, and that was too much to ask. So anyway, Alex has disappeared, so we'll play one of his songs in the meantime. I mentioned one earlier called You Were Right, so let's play that and see if he comes back. I'll send him a message. Oh, here he comes. He's coming back. Oh, he's disappeared again. I don't know if he's got a bad connection that end or something, but I was explaining to him again about the system I've been using. It seems to be okay for a while, and then people are getting kicked off. So, aye. Let me play this video and then see if he comes back. I'll send him a message on Facebook. Oh, here he comes. Every time I say that, he comes back. Oh, he disappeared again. Oh my God. Oh, there he comes. I was just about to play a song, and twice, just as we were talking about, you says these cunts are winning. They said, we'll show you who's winning, mate. Fuck off.
Unbelievable, isn't it? Unbelievable. Fucking hell.
Anyway, well, I'll play the song. I just said a couple of times I'm going to play it, so I'll play it now and then we'll pick up, yeah?
Yeah, sure, mate.
I'm going to play You Were Right, so hang fire for 5 minutes. I'll mute you just now so you can make a noise in the background.
Good man.
And I'll play this. Cheers now.
One, 2, 3, 4. Doctor, will you hand me the phone? I need to make a call. Now I'm awake, I need to phone home. I got something to tell them all. Got a ton of regret, and I tell you it hurts from the morning till the night. Gotta call everybody that I'll try to warn. You gotta tell them they were right. I thought you were crazy, I thought you were mad when you were all making your plea. But I never listened, 'cause I was too blind to see what was in front of me. But when I woke, I soon realized that all you want came true. And as I lay in my hospital bed, these words I say to you. You were right, I was wrong. You warned me for so long. How I wish I would have listened. Now I've ended up like this, and I can feel my heart is breaking. My body won't stop shaking, and I wonder if I'll make it through the night. You were right. See, my foolish pride just got in the way. I'm sorry if I let you down. I never considered all the work that you did to try to stop me ending up in a box in the ground. But now I'm scared and I wanna come home. I've gotta get out of this place. Gotta get back home to the people I love. I wanna tell them face to face. You were right, I was wrong. You warned me for so long. How I wish I would have listened. Now I've ended up like this, and I can feel my heart is breaking. My body won't stop shaking, and I wonder if I'll make it through the night. You were right. And if I die before I wake, let others learn of my mistake. And if I live to see more days, you bet I'm gonna change my ways. If only I had used my brain, this juice would not be in my veins. No more will I just believe I was fooled, I was deceived. Yes, I was. I was wrong. You warned me for so long. How I wish I would have listened. Now I've ended up like this, and I can feel my heart is breaking. My body won't stop shaking, and I wonder if I'll make it through the night. You were right. Right. You were right. And I was wrong.
Excellent stuff. Hold on, I'll bring you back now. Aye, so there's no saying Cat Stevens. I did think it was a bit Cat Stevens vibe as well. Very beautiful, and it's quite poignant for me actually. I've got a family member right now who I wish could get to that perspective, but he's basically on his deathbed and he's followed government procedure, and one thing's led to another, and it's absolutely fucking heartbreaking to watch.
It is, mate. Yeah, it is. That song was inspired by my father-in-law who got jab fucked, and
That's the same as me.
yeah. Oh right, fucking hell.
Well, stepfather.
Right. And he had like 8 of them in a year, 7 of them in a year, something like that. And we were on and on and on and on at him. And eventually he saw it. I mean, he's 8. He's coming. He's going to be here tomorrow. Actually, we've got the whole family coming over tomorrow for his 80th birthday. and he's sworn that he will never have another one. So we got to him in that respect, you know. I mean, I'm determined to make him a flat earther before he leaves this realm, but I don't know if I have much hope for that. But you know, he did have a terrible experience in hospital, and I like to think he was sitting there thinking, "Fuck, you know, maybe I should have listened. Maybe they were right." You know, but you know, as the song says, "My foolish pride just got in the way. I'm sorry if I let you down." You know, that's what it boils down to, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Foolish pride. So yeah, that was you know, written about him, and yeah, it's an emotional song. Yeah, thanks, man.
Aye, it's so sad when it's, you know, it to happen to anyone, but when it's in your family and it's like very close, and you had told them before, but I don't know, it's quite disturbing, honestly. The shit he's been through, and just what's he's basically they've actually give him. He's no, he can't leave his bed ever again. Let's put it that way. And he's just on the downward slope to death, and that's
Yeah.
the situation. And he would never admit that he still thinks the NHS is great. That's the sad thing.
Oh,
But
Jesus. I had a cousin, 42 years old. Now, most of my family I'm very, very distant from. I'm the black sheep of the family, but there was one family member, my cousin, who was showing signs of consciousness. He was asking me stuff about Q and all of that sort of stuff. And now I don't really resonate with Q stuff, but at least he was, you know, at least showing signs of, you know, there's something wrong. And he was asking me questions and all of that. So, and I thought, oh, so I was drip feeding him some info. And I had some hope for him. Like, one of my family members is actually like showing signs of consciousness. Brilliant. And then he took the arm spear to go on holiday. 6 months later, dead. Turbo cancer, you know.
Aye, yep. It's affecting real lives, and you know you hear it all the time. These sports stars or people sudden death syndrome, and they try and normalise all this stuff. In fact, I interviewed John O'Looney recently, and he's saying that the police and everything, there's like methods behind the scenes for like identifying deaths, and they're not going through the correct procedure. Where a lot of these things would be getting reported, and it would be getting the numbers would be more evident, but they're burying numbers to make sure this doesn't get out, you know, to the masses of the extreme.
Yeah, damage control, but
Control.
I don't know how much damage control they can do. I mean, isn't this now a political discussion? I saw them discussing it in Senate. I don't know. There was some politician talking about, you know, Mayo. I don't want to finish the word just in case, but you know what I'm talking about. You know, that is now, you know, being admitted that there was, you know, there are problems with this particular procedure. So I don't know how much damage control they can do, and all the information now is out there now. So anyone denying that this is causing, you know,
The crazy thing is they're still issuing it though, and also it's almost part of their satanic ritual to do the reveal. You know, oh dear, we made a boob. You know, tough.
yeah, they do this all the time. They do this all the time, don't they? We see it again and again and again. They admit that they're you know, but you will never see any justice. You will never see any accountability. So, like you say, it's almost part of the ritual. It's part of the reveal. Yeah, oopsie daisy. Oh, sorry about that. Okay, so can you show me some justice or accountability? Nope, never happens. Never. Look at all the war criminals in our history. Oops, yeah, we admit it now. Okay, any justice? Nope, doesn't work like that.
Oh, and by the way, China's just there's another variant on its way, so strap yourself in for that one. At the same time as they're admitting it, they're still saying, "Oh, we better prepare for the next one." And
I'd like to see. I mean, it's going to be interesting. It's not something I fear anymore. It's going to be interesting to just to see the public reaction and just to see if people are fucking stupid enough to fall for it again. And of course, there will be a big percentage of people, but I would like to think that percentage has dropped significantly now, you know, given the information that's available. But of course, there's so many television watching news believers that will just parrot the NPCs. So it's going to be interesting to see, you know, the masks going on again and just see how much of a state we really are in.
do you think there's any kind of legitimacy to the people claim that they're going to like turn 5G up? And you know that could have been showing some of the symptoms before people were having was like because they put in all the 5G shit when there was a lockdown, so there could be sitting there. They're bringing in the armies, you know, the immigrants on boats or whatever, and putting them in hotels because they're UN soldiers. So basically, lots of people die. Oh, there's a pandemic. You need to be locked in. You know, weather, basically climate lockdown or whatever, or you know they've got things still in place, almost like that was a trial run, but they needed to bring the population down further because I think was it some organisation that does population, in the future.
Yeah, you're talking about Deagle.
15 million is supposed to be in a not too
Yeah.
distant future.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like they're on target, doesn't it? And I do think that those towers. I've got to be careful with my wording here. I know you say don't give a fuck, but I want this to remain on YouTube. But I do think there's a correlation between those communication towers and sickness. See, that's going to get banned just for fucking saying that, isn't it? But yeah, I do think there's a correlation, and that amplification is being ramped up, or the frequency is being ramped up. They're talking about 6G, 7G. It's just going to go on and on and on, and the frequency is going to get more powerful. The amplification is going to get more powerful. The sickness is going to become more prevalent, but all in the name of you can download a movie faster. Of course, it's for your benefit. It's for your convenience, right? Always.
Yeah, it's like the child harm bill is going to stop your freedom of speech, but it's to protect the children. But it can be done other ways or whatever. It's just limiting everyone's free speech, or like they want to take away our human rights so the migrants can be get CCTV cameras because they'll create a civil war or dystopia.
I mean, what is the solution? Because this is probably one of the most depressing conversations I've ever had. So thanks for that. What is the solution? I mean, we're sitting here pissing and moaning. What is it to go out into the fucking countryside and self-sufficient, and then start killing animals and shit like that? I mean, what's the solution?
Well, I was interviewed a woman called Elizabeth Hancock a few days ago, and towards the end of that interview, she said basically what I think is we need to stop fighting the system. Basically, the community. I live in a small town here. If everyone just said, fuck it, we're not going to our jobs, let's start growing food. You grow cucumbers, you grow tomatoes, and we'll protect the community from the police or whatever. And we're going
to. That's when you become a freedom cell, and that's when you become a target. A little bit like Waco. There's a big Waco conspiracy there. He was just basically anti-government, wanted to start a little freedom cell, and of course, what happened there was historical. So that's when you become a target. So even at that, I mean, even the whole self-sufficiency thing is a bit of a psyop. I tried it for a couple of years. And you can grow some tomatoes, you can grow some, potatoes and some stuff like that. But you need community. You need a community to be, like the Amish. That's a very, very good example. But how you're going to get that amount of people all on the same page? This is why I really respect the Amish. Okay, there's some things that I'm not so quite so sure about that, but at least they've got the community. At least they're making their own clothes. They're making their own food. They're doing fermentation. They're doing building their own houses. I mean, that's what we should aspire to. But try and find a few hundred people on your level that are willing to buy a bit of land and do just that.
Yeah, it's very impossible.
Yeah,
the guy Martin Kenny now calls himself ZZ of the Pineal Foundation.
Yeah,
he's been to Portugal, and well, he's
been under attack as well. He's been under attack. I mean, he was arrested. They had 60 Portuguese police officers storm the compound. Very Waco-esque, right? And he had to toe the line to a certain respect. They took his kids away and put him into public schools and all that sort of shit. So
I thought they resolved that, no?
Well, I mean, the last I heard, I don't follow it too closely, but the last I heard, he was like, okay, they have to put they reached some kind of agreement. I do believe the kids went into some kind of indoctrination center. I don't know what the story is now, but that's what happens when you become a freedom cell. You become free like that. We're going to grow our own food. We're going to educate our own children. We're going to make our own clothes. All of a sudden, you're a target.
Yeah. Well, he was trying to say they're their own nation. He was trying to set a template.
They are.
Aye. So theoretically, everyone should back off. But again, these authorities, they just see it's like they are the law. We can do anything. The law doesn't matter. It's just like fucking.
It's perceived. It's perceived. There should be only one law, like no loss, harm, or injury. Or, as the Bible says, love thy neighbour. There could be one fucking rule: love thy neighbour. If everybody adhered to that, world would be a different place. But we're too stupid.
Yeah, you just wonder what this place is and what we're doing here. Is it like a simulation? Some people claim, and people don't project hundreds of years in the future. We're going down. Is there going to be hundreds of years in the future, or is there a reset coming? And they want to create chaos. Well, they're going down into the tunnels. Well, shit's about to happen on the surface.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's a reason why they're building that underground. They must know something, otherwise they wouldn't have spent billions upon billions on underground cities.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people like archaics are talking about these, systemic, these circular rather resets. which happen every so many years. And I don't know. I think he predicts the next one is like 2042 or something like that. I don't want to live in that fear mindset, but maybe that is coming. I mean, why are they building?
Elon Musk is talking about that kind of shit as well. But again,
it's happened before. I mean, the evidence is there that it happened before, right? So why not again? I mean, the flood, Tartaria, the mud flood, and all that sort of stuff. I don't know what to make of that, but clearly historically there have been resets, and maybe we're coming up to another one. Just as humanity seems to be waking up to the deceptions and the control system, they know, and they're like, okay, let's reset it again. It could be that. It could be very Truman Show-esque in that respect.
Or like Westworld, where
right.
the robots thing, and then they change the backdrop. It's time for another story.
Right, and that's where we are, in my opinion. It could be. I mean, I never thought I'd be like leaning towards simulation and that, but the way I see it, the way I see this construct, this toroidal field, this flat plane, and we are maybe even slaves to the system, maybe in some sort of farm and like some kind of energy harvesting realm in some way, shape, or form. I don't know. It's kind of dystopian. It's kind of bleak when you start looking at in that respect. But I do see there are controllers, like the Truman Show. You had Christoph in the moon, creating all the weather patterns and all of that kind of stuff. Maybe it is like that. I don't know. But I'm starting to see a system. I'm starting to see a machine. And I'm starting to see that AI just didn't come out of nowhere, someone's imagination. That came from I don't know. I'm starting to lean towards this is a soulless AI production creation of some kind, but nobody wants to hear that. Everybody wants to hear loving God, right? Of course, but I've gone beyond that now. I don't know. It seems to be pretty soulless. But this is so depressing. I need a drink.
That's that Martin Kenny. He talks about. He made a video about AI being ancient and said it was created by humans during the Atlantis period, and they got too advanced, and it's like become the demiurge, and basically that's Because if you think about it, if we got reset, all our history, where did that come from? It's like almost, and if you look at different stories in history, it's almost like the same narrative, with just slightly different names in different places. It's almost like a script that's been created. And
maybe that's why they call it scripture, right? These holy books, right? It's a script. It's a blueprint, maybe. I don't know, but of course, when you start saying things like that, all the Christians come out of the woodwork and start, calling you a demon and that you're going to buy it, burn in a lake of fire forever in eternity. And
well, they certainly use these religions. I mean, I think there's truth in them, but the way they seem to be playing Christianity and Islam off against each other for the next war or whatever's going to happen. It's again, there's certain groups of people seem to be, organising that and setting that up. There's a guy called Christopher John Bjertness. I don't know if you've watched his stuff.
No.
He goes into kind of like he's got a book called Beware the World to Come, where it's just about a certain group of people, the tribe or whatever, setting these other two tribes off to fight against each other and kill each other, destroy each other, so that the only ones left will be them, and they'll kind of rule the world after that. Getting cheerier by the minute.
I'm going to have to go and get my guitar.
That's what happens when you talk about these kind of topics and you know kind of the deeper levels of what's going on. It's not exactly, although I have tried to do comedy out of it, that was a challenge, you know what I mean? To try and
yeah. I mean, it's like that scene in The Matrix. I mean, The Matrix, again, it all talks about this AI soulless system that controls everything. And I think that's where it kind of lost me. But I think that's actually quite true now. And when Morpheus says to Neo, like, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more. And he's saying, there is a shit sandwich at the end of this. You realize that, what do you want? Do you want the truth, which is a shit sandwich, or do you want this like fantasy land? And that's where we are. We're realizing that, holy shit, we're in some kind of control system, some kind of energy farm or whatever. And you just have to make I don't know. This is why I've got a glass of wine here when we talk about these things. It kind of takes the edge off, and I don't know. I don't want to sort of start wallowing and spiraling into depression or anything. I kind of want to go back to the comedy stuff and start making people laugh with this stuff. Because I mean, what else can you do?
Yeah, but your last few songs have been quite heartfelt and kind of soulful, whatever. So
Yeah, there was a joyful one there. I did one song called "Wouldn't It Be Nice," which was like
Yeah.
a reggae song, which was like about peace and love and unity and harmony. Wouldn't it be nice if we could all come together and, clear the stormy weather and all that sort of stuff? And people was like, "Oh, that's nice that you did a cheery song." But when you're making songs about your observations of the world, they can't help but be a little bit, And I'm only trying to sort of, wake people up and make people critically think about what they're being told. That's all I'm trying to do. But unfortunately, there is that aspect of all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
Yeah.
And then when people see it, they start drinking as much as I do.
I was going to finish with that one. It was a good one to end on, so we'll do that. You also put out the books of. You spent quite a bit of time putting out your videos. You turned them into books, and you gave them away for free in PDF. Now, have you had much response back from that?
No, not really. Because they're all flat Earth books, and it's such a fringe topic that people I don't think are really ready for. It's such a fringe community. I still think it's this tiny little fringe topic in the corner of the internet that people are not quite ready for at the moment. So I think that's ahead of its time in a way. I sell a book a day. I think I make sort of $4 or $5 a day on that. But at the end, what I love about having books in physical format is they'll always be there. They'll end up on a coffee table somewhere or in a waiting room, dentist waiting room, and someone will pick it up, and it might make someone go, "Ah, that's interesting." So no, they've not been. It's not like I'm a best-selling kids author or anything like that. But I tried. I had a go when David Weiss said to me, you should make your music videos into children's books. It was a great idea, and I did that. And I spent 6 months creating 7 books, and they're out now on Amazon. And it's the Flat Earth Man character talking about aspects of NASA. It's mostly, exposing NASA for the fraudulent nature that they are, but in a very friendly, comedic way. Very digestible for children. That's what the Flat Earth Man character was, and that's what I want to kind of go back to, because it's, I have fun doing it. It's a lot of work to do all the green screen stuff, but morphing into characters and doing different voices and being a child, dressing up in little outfits and stuff like that. It is therapy for me, And when I'm angry with the world, I'll go into the studio and I'll shout, "I told you so," into a microphone. It's all therapy. I don't need a therapist. I just need a microphone and a guitar and maybe a cowboy hat sometimes.
Yeah, well, I think that's what artists are doing, really, isn't it? It's like you've got all this stuff and madness in the world, and they have to find a way to get it out there. And if you just go around shouting at people, it's not very, effective.
Yeah.
So if you channel it into something creative, then at least you're transmuting bad shit into good shit, and so that's the point of art to me.
That is. But to get all depressing again, that format is being silenced. It's now being replaced with AI. And if you try and put the kind of lyrics that I put into a song into AI and say, "Here's some lyrics about chemtrails, would you make a song for me?" And it will go, "Well, actually, some of the Suno will actually produce it for you." But, if you put that into AI, it was, the conspiracy theory of chemtrails, blah, 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 blah. So yeah, I think the only option for me now is to, start still doing the same thing, exposing and, doing comedic stuff and all that, but probably to a smaller audience, hopefully a paying audience, a supportive audience, and, do the kind of Ronnie Scott's sort of crowd and try and get a really nice sound, really nice lighting and some Q&A and that sort of. Maybe that's the way to go, because my heart's in truth, my heart's in conspiracy. My heart's in, seeing what this music does, because it can be profound. It can really be profound, particularly the healing stuff that I've done with the solfeggio stuff. So I can't turn my back on that. I would hate to turn my back on that and go out and do, start singing Frank Sinatra in the local bar.
You're not making a volume 3 of True Solfeggio?
I started. I'm about 3.5 tracks in, 4 tracks in, and then in March we had the worst weather in Spain. It rained and rained and rained, and then I had a leak in my studio. All the water was pissing through the fucking studio roof onto the desk, onto my speakers. I had to take half the roof out. That put me back. And then I met Franz, who's an incredible musician, really very awake, very conscious, and we started working together. And so he was a distraction. A very good distraction, I might add. He's coming back in September. I can't wait to see him again. So that's kind of put me behind on the album. So I was supposed to release the album next month. There's no way that's going to happen. I'll probably release it in November, just in time for Christmas. But, but I said to my wife, what's the point in working on albums if I can't sell them? So, I'm putting all my time and effort into something that no one's going to see. So it's like, what do I do here? So again, I'm at the crossroads. I'm not broke. It's not that. It's not. Someone said in the chat, "Oh, he's drinking a glass of wine and having a smoke. Things must be so bad." No, I'm not saying I'm broke. I'm saying I don't get the support that I think we people like us deserve. We're not getting the support that we desperately need to get this kind of information out there. So I've got a lot of thinking to do now. I've got a lot of things to do. I mean, some people have said, why don't you go and do a podcast? But how many podcasts have I seen based around truth that don't go anywhere? A couple of my friends have tried doing that and got nowhere. So I don't think I'm a talking head. I think I really should be concentrating on music, but maybe more shorter format, TikTok. I don't know, but you kind of feel like you're selling your soul if you do like 30-second songs. They might as well be fucking ringtones at that point. So I'm gonna sort of rack my brain and think of what creative things I could do to still be able to do what I can do. But I don't know. We'll see. I think it's a very interesting fork in the road. I'm not worried about it. I think it will push me in a direction that, it's the universe telling me to go in another direction, if you like.
Yeah, TikTok is censored as well. Like I get
Right.
videos kicked off of there, and so like I've got lots of interviews. I could have to be very choosy of what to publish, because if you mention certain things, then you start getting strikes there, and then So again, it's this battle going on just to get heard, just to have your thoughts come out. I feel your pain and frustration because I've
It's insane.
been through it all myself. It's fucking torture.
That's a great word, torture. Right. That's my next song. It's called Torture. I did have a song called Censorship. It's called the Censored Song, and it basically talks about these technocrats with their hands round your throat and they muffle and choke and all of that. Good lyrics. I'll have to release that at some point. But yeah, I mean, every one of my songs is just it's just me going through something that everybody else is feeling. You're feeling the censorship. So if I make a song called the Censored Song, you'll resonate with it because you know exactly where I'm coming from. So all I can do is just vent my frustration through music. And when I'm happy, you'll hear a happy song. When I'm pissed off, you'll hear a pissed off song. It's my therapy.
Yeah, well, I'm going to play a short clip, just your wee promo for your Patreon.
Thanks, bro. Appreciate it.
Just hang fire there now, and I'll stick that up, and then we'll have a wee chat about what you do on there. Give us 2 seconds.
Aye.
So that's you on patreon.com/conspiracy_music_guru. And yeah, obviously it said a few things there about what you do. How often do you post in there, and what's the kind of vibe on your Patreon site?
Lovely group of people over there because they're the people that actually love and appreciate what I do. So, there's not much traction there at the moment, and I never thought I'd be pushing my Patreon. I never thought it would get to this stage, but here I am. And I've got a lovely group of people in there. There's probably 600 people in there total. 150 are like paid, the others are free. And I just invited everyone on my Patreon to a party at my place in September, which I'm gutted that you can't come to, mate. But that's another story. But yeah, really nice group of people. And I post there probably once a week, once every 2 weeks, something like that. When Franz comes back in September, we'll be doing a lot more content. I like working with him. It sort of encourages me to make more music. He's someone that can play music.
Who is Franz? How did you meet him?
Oh, Franz I was in a little town called Denia, which is 20 minutes north of me, with a friend of mine called Mike Wilkerson, Stellium 7. Are you aware of his work?
No.
Oh, you should totally interview him. He does great work on biogeology and titans and that sort of stuff. He's like a titanologist, really. Very good friend of mine. He only lives 5 minutes from me. We were walking through Denia, and this big Dutch guy is walking towards us, and he points at both of us. I thought he was pointing at both of us, but he's pointing at Mike. And he goes, I know you, I know your work.
Okay.
And then Mike said, and we started chatting, and Mike said, "Do you know this guy, Conspiracy Music Guru?" And he looked he said, "Do you know this guy?" And he looked at me and he went, "No, I don't know this guy." And he said, "Who are you?" I said, "I'm Conspiracy Music Guru." And he went, "I know you as well, I know you." So that was cool. And turns out he plays a guitar, so I invited him to my house. And we got chatting, and he's full on cosmology. He knows that all that the bullshit, right?
No.
He knows all of that. He's well on board with the virology. He's like a Dutch version of me. It's so rare. I mean, the synchronicity that how we met him, I just don't know. But he's such a jolly man, much fun to be around with, very capable on the guitar. And we made 3 songs within like 6 weeks. So I can't wait for him to come back. So yeah, great guy. And so the Patreon is a nice little group. I'm a little bit concerned of the censorship there, but we'll see. We'll see how that pans out. But at the moment, about 500-600 people in there. Good people.
Yeah, but you're only asking, you've got different tiers, or is it $3 gets you?
Yeah, it's just $3 a month. I think it might be in the UK. I think it might be £3 a month. But there's no tiers. It's just like support what you like, or it goes away kind of thing. And I do sort of when Franz comes around and we have a jam session, I'll set the camera up and we'll record it. Or when I'm just messing around or noodling, or when Steve comes over, Steve Faulkner is coming over again in August. We'll be working on something, and I like to set the camera up and do sort of, because we have a laugh and we have a drink. And Steve's such a fun guy to be around. He really is. And so we have a lot of fun, and it's nice for the camera to capture that and show what it's like behind the scenes. So yeah, I do lots of sort of behind the scenes stuff on the Patreon.
That's cool. So yeah, for £3 a month, folks, go and support Conspiracy Music Guru and keep them going, basically, because it's vital work. There's not many people like yourself with the.
There's no one doing it. Where's the rock and roll? Where are the people? Where's the anti-establishment artists? Where are they gone? Where's punk gone? Where's all that? Where's the rockers like speaking out against the establishment? No one.
Well, Van Morrison, he did a song about basically where have all the rockers gone, and I watched an interview with him recently, quite a rare interview he does, and he said, "Is this album he's releasing soon, and the 2 kind of cover versions he's just done recently, he had to do something a bit more joyful because he got a lot of negative feedback, and all the critics that reviewed those albums that actually had something to say, they all totally dismiss it, and all the public say, oh, I don't like his political stuff or whatever. He's trying to say something. He's observing what's going on around him, and he gets hundreds of grief for it, and now he has to write other stuff to get his audience back or whatever. It's fucking unbelievable.
Yeah, it's a joke, isn't it? I mean, so that they want him to play on the bright side of the road all the time.
Brown-eyed girl.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Yeah, I mean, how sickening is that he's been forced into a corner where he has to make jolly songs just for radio play, just to pay his mortgage. Well, I probably ain't got a mortgage, but you know what I mean? He's got bills, like we all have.
Aye.
Yeah, shocking.
Yeah, I went to see him a couple of times recently, and I would love to have heard all that stuff live, but he's not playing it live because probably he's trying to appease the full crowd, and so yeah, it's a whole body of work he's done there. He's not getting a chance to give an airing to.
Yeah, because I guarantee if he goes on stage and starts being a little bit right wing, or talking politically and trying to actually wake some minds, then he's going to be banned from his label. He's going to this, that, and it's just
yeah. Pish. So I know you like to do only about an hour anyway, so we've went just over the hour. Is there anything you'd like to say? I'm going to play Wouldn't It Be Nice to kind of play us out with?
Liven the vibe a little bit.
Aye. Even a positive after the 2 guys for the Muppets having a good fucking.
Boo! That's the worst thing I ever heard. Oh, it wasn't that bad. Yeah, there were parts of it I liked. Yeah, hooray! Boo!
No, you done? We'll stick it on.
Yeah. It was nice talking to you, mate.
Right, if you hang fire, we'll say goodbye once the song's finished. So just hang fire now.
Aye.
We'll mute you in the meantime.
All right, mate.
So here's Wouldn't It Be Nice by Conspiracy Music Guru and Franz. Check this one out.
Yeah, without that. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Yeah. Wouldn't it be nice if we could come together and everyone unite? Just peace and love forever. There's no need to fight, 'cause we can make it better. Don't let them divide and make the stormy weather to live as one in peaceful harmony. Just open up your eyes and you will see. Wouldn't it be nice to make a brand new start and step into the light? No more in the dark, the future could be bright. To live life from the heart, we can make it right. Just wish upon a star. Oh, I won't live my life upon my knees. No. Wouldn't it be nice if we were free? We could build a brighter world if only you could see. Rise as one together, we will stand. We could build a brighter world where we could all be free. All of us together, hand in hand. Oh, wouldn't it be nice to live with joy that never ends? So nice. Yeah, happiness could be your friend. So nice to leave the pain and fear behind. Whoa, nice. Release the shackles of your mind. No, I will not conform, nor I obey. 'Cause I was never born to be a slave. We could build a brighter world if you could only see. Rise as one together, we will stand. We could build a brighter world where we could all be free. And all of us together, hand in hand. Oh, wouldn't it be nice if we could come together, everyone unite. With peace and love forever, there's no need to fight. 'Cause we can make it better, don't let them divide. And make the stormy weather to live as one in peaceful harmony. Just open up your eyes and you will see.
I remember that song. That was a good song, that.
So, Alex, oh, Alex disappeared and then he came back. He's disappeared again. So, some more connection problems. But yeah, it was a really nice song. Here he comes. Here he comes. Oh, is he there? Yep, he's coming. There he is. Hello.
Yeah.
So, did you switch yourself off there, or did you get kicked off?
I had two tabs open. It was echoing like fuck, so I closed one tab and I don't know what happened.
No worries. Anyway, it was a really nice song. That great falsetto you've got going on at the end there.
Yeah, a little la 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 la. I don't know. When I first when we first started experimenting with that, I'm like, that doesn't sound like me. It sounds a little bit feminine and that, but I don't know. It's just like people kind of appreciated that I could get up in that range. So I don't know.
Alex Campbell's saying, great song. It could be big in the mainstream if Ed Sheeran did it.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, we actually copyright. We knew that was such a good song, and it's really catchy. And you got to be careful when you come up with a good song and a really catchy song. Someone could steal it, so we actually copyright that one. So, but yeah, if someone like Ed Sheeran took it, then yeah, that's gonna blow up, isn't it? Because it's like all positive vibe. It's kind of like Bobby McFerrin, "Don't Worry, Be Happy" kind of vibe, you know, or you know, who was it? Pharrell Williams that did Happy.
Oh, I hate that song.
People want that sort of stuff. So it's an unusual turn for me to do the happy sort of stuff. My stuff is usually a little bit like we're fucked. So it's kind of nice to do a different song there. And I got so much good feedback from that. I mean, maybe I should do more positive and more comedic stuff. But when I'm going through the dark night of the soul, like I say, it's therapy. You go into the studio and you go, ah.
Yeah. You just keep following your muse. It's led you all right so far, so I think you should trust your instincts.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, if I want to do a rap song, and I don't take myself too seriously. I don't consider myself a rap artist or a reggae artist or a rock artist or a country artist. I'm just a creative bloke having fun and just putting out my message. So I'll continue to do that. I won't be pigeonholed into a box like a record company would want to do with me. So I have that freedom, thankfully.
Yeah, there's a nice bit of rap you done in This Old Street of mine, was it?
Yeah, I did a kind of a street kind of rap to that. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, no one was expecting that. Yeah.
Steve Faulkner.
Yeah. Steve's great with that sort of stuff.
But you've got an album coming out. Used to were talking about making an album as well.
Yeah, talking about it. But because he lives so bloody far, he lives in Denmark actually. He's a guy originally from Chicago. And he lives in Denmark now. So he's only 2 or 3 hours away on a plane. But he comes here twice a year. But to make an album when he only comes here twice a year, it could take like 3 fucking years to make an album. But I'd love to do an album with him. But
is it too hard to collaborate online?
I've said to him, like, let's do it online. But he would rather be in the studio with me because that's when the magic happens, when we both, share a glass of wine and we both go. To do that, it's like doing a comedy gig. You've got to have the people in the room. It's kind of like that. So whether we do an album or not, I don't know. We probably will, but I don't think it's going to happen overnight. That's the thing. And if we do make an album, who's going to see it? Who's going to buy it? I've got 6 albums that nobody buys.
How many songs have you got together? About 3 or 4 just now?
Yeah, I think there's. Yeah, I think there must be. There must be 3 or 4. I've got another one written as well. Yeah, I think we're almost halfway to it. I mean, if the album was 8 or 9 songs, make them a bit longer, then there's almost half an album there. But yeah, I think eventually over the next couple of years there will be an album. But I think it'll be a good album. I love doing the acoustic stuff. He's a good musician as well, and Steve's work. He's very, very conscious. He's bordering on genius. I love working with him, and he's a lot of fun as well. He's a party animal. He's a bit like me. He's rock and roll. He's proper rock and roll,
But again, he's got the Space Busters channel that's quite, hardcore, technical, high level shit. So
he's an incredible researcher. I don't know how he retains the information. I'll read something and learn something and forget it the next day. He retains it, which I'm quite jealous of. And he's able to put it into a video format or a film like nobody else. And he just has a way of narrating it as well, which is obviously he's got a great voice and he's got a lot of good humor as well. Yeah. And people don't realize he's a great musician as well.
Yeah, he does he does what you're trying to avoid by going out and singing to the public.
Yeah, he does that. Again, he loves it. He's the same age as me, 53, and he's out every weekend playing in the big Irish bars. And he absolutely loves it. He's which I couldn't do. There's no way I could do that now. I'm too old for that. But he just absolutely thrives upon it. So I don't know. Maybe one day I'll be like, I can't do this anymore. But he's out till 3, 4 o'clock in the morning doing that stuff. I'm like, well, fair enough, mate. That's how he pays his bills. He's also a guitar teacher as well.
All right, cool. So somebody else mentioned there's another band called Raw Milk Conspiracies. Have you heard of them?
I haven't. No.
They're quite conscious as well. You might want to check them out.
Cool.
Folk listening as well. So there's also Daz Light, or the guy from the Light newspaper.
Yeah, I know Daz. Yeah, legend.
He's done an album as well, I think, recently.
Brilliant. Yeah, he's done it. I think he's doing. Does he organise Stand in the Light Festival? Does he do that?
Yeah, that's just happened. Yeah, so he organised that. I'm actually going down to England to perform at a gig that he's performing at.
Right.
Who else is going to be there? John O'Looney. What's that politician who kind of came out of the system recently? Outspoken one. Andrew Bridgen, Richard Vobes, they're going to be there. So that's
the one thing I miss about the UK is those conscious people. I miss going to meetups like that, but I'm stuck in Spain, and I got some. I won't be too vocal about it, but I've got some travelling issues at the moment that I've got to deal with. So I very rarely go back to the UK, but that's the only reason I would love to go to those festivals and be around those sort of. And I get invited to them, but sadly I can't at the moment.
Aye. It's a shame. Like if I was in Scotland to be able to come to your party, but the fact of being in Turkey at the time, it means it's impossible to get there. So I'm pissed off at missing that
Yeah,
one.
it's a shame. I've got some legends coming, man. I don't want to name drop too many because, one person's legend is another man's shill, of course, right? It's subjective, right? So if I start name dropping and say, oh, this person's coming, they go, oh, fucking shill, shill, shill. So I'm kind of keeping the guest list a bit quiet at the moment, and it's private invite only at the moment.
Are we not shills for asking for donations anyway?
Oh, well, we must be, right? Because, yeah, right. Yeah, you can't make money out of truth. So, yeah, that's going to be an incredible. It's a 2-day party at my place. And a lot of people express
I think not everyone's going to stay at your place, though.
Oh, no, fuck no. They're getting there. They're getting hotels and stuff. But no, yeah, it's going to be on the Saturday and the Sunday. You've got to start at midday and finish whenever it does on the Saturday, and then start again on midday on the Sunday and finish whenever it does. And I'll be setting up the PA system. Franz will be here as well, so we'll do a couple of acoustic numbers and that. I'll set some percussion up as well, so if anybody fancies playing the bongos or the tambourine and stuff like that, we'll see if we can get some accompaniment going. So it could turn into a bit of a jam at my villa in Spain, in the sun, and I think it's going to be great. But having that many people and having to cater for that many people, food and drink and everything, which I'm going to have to pay for, is going to be a little bit challenging. But I fuck it. It's a once in a lifetime thing. People are flying in from the States. So it's just going to be like my house is going to be full of all the people that I respect and admire, and people that I've learned from. So it's going to be a hell of a party, dude. You've got to come, mate. You've got to come.
I wish I could. It's not viable really, but I would love to be there. I'm trying to
nice.
rack my brain right now if I can, but it's like unless somebody wants to donate me $1,000.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? Yeah, that's the thing. I know it's costly. I know, mate. I know. I get it. But I know you would thrive when you'd absolutely love it. So there it is.
Aye, just sod's law.
Yeah.
That's the way it goes sometimes. I was going to say something there. Aye, lots of good content for your Patreon channel. Get somebody going around with a video camera.
Hopefully, yeah, because there will be a lot of legends here, and I think my friend James Robertson, who had the Loft Project podcast, he's given it up now. He wants to go around and do interviews and stuff like that. So there will be a lot of content. Yeah, certainly around September, I think there'll be a lot of content, particularly if we, do live guitar and that, and everyone's going to be drunk and dancing and that. I think it's going to be a really nice vibe in the sunshine and just a conscious meetup. Just having those kind of people around you, all conscious and awake, and they all know what's up. I think that's vital. At the moment, is that kind of community.
Well, even at the protest meetings and any of these kind of festivals you go to, it's just good that you can talk shit to anyone and they know where you're coming from instead of doing that game where you say something and see what reaction you'll get.
Yeah, you have to gauge your audience really carefully. So there won't be none of that. You can speak. I mean, everyone that's going to be here is going to understand the cosmological lies for sure. Everybody can just be free to be themselves and be around like-minded people. And once the drink starts flowing and the music starts playing, you can't go wrong, mate.
Sounds like an awesome party. I'm jealous I'm not there. So anyway, thanks again for your time.
Thank you.
People can find you at your website, conspiracymusicguru.com.
All right.
And from there, they've got links to your Patreon and YouTube, etc. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all there. That's the main hub. If you can find my website, if you type Conspiracy Music Guru into Google, you won't find it. You have to go into the browser and type conspiracymusicguru.com. That will get you there. So check out my stuff. Some of it's wild, some of it's serious, some of it's reggae, some of it's rap, some of it's rock, some of it's I'm trying to do it all, but it's all got a conscious message. I've even done like healing music, solfeggio healing tones, and that's having a profound. I'm trying to do it all really, and I'll continue to do it as long as I've got breath in my body, as long as I can get a little bit of support, and as long as I can pay the bills, then hopefully I won't have to go into bars and start singing Frank Sinatra songs.
I did it their way.
Yeah.
Anyway, thanks again for your time. Thanks everyone else for watching. I'm back with John Sloman, I think on the 24th of June. He's going to be playing some tunes. So we'll look forward to that. He used to be in Uriah Heep and UFO and Gary Moore's band. So he's a bit awesome. So look forward to that one. In the meantime, cheers and out. Bye-bye.